I absolutely love getting video requests from all of you. Now, one of my most recent ones is about what makes a strike more powerful. Now, the guy actually says, hey, we're in kickboxing class today. We watch a lot of your videos for advice, and a vast majority wanted a video about how smaller guys like Ryan Garcia and you have so much punching power despite weighing less than others. That's a great question, and one that I'm very excited to answer for you guys today. So the focus of today is going to be very simple. We're going to start off and we're going to list out what makes a technique, an attack, a punch, kick, knee, whatever it is, powerful. And then we're going to talk about drilling we can do to help improve our power. And this shouldn't take long. This should be a relatively fast, concise, short episode. If you guys like that, if you appreciate the content, please give the video a like. And let's start off and talk about the 3 elements in my mind which create power in a technique. And a lot of people, especially guys who do not understand martial arts, think smaller people like myself, Ryan Garcia, many of the guys who are at lower weight classes won't be able to develop knockout power. But that is not the case, because power does not come from a big muscle squeezing and throwing in. Power comes, number 1, from technique. If you lack the technique, everything else is going to fail. That doesn't mean you can't hit hard without proper technique. If it's a big guy and he has no power and he just swings through, sure, he'll still have power, but utilizing proper technique means he would increase his efficiency and power. And that's what we're looking to do. That's how smaller guys like myself, Ryan Garcia, are able to create power, even though our body weight, our walk around weight is kind of like probably 150 pounds for Ryan Garcia, maybe 155 for myself. So learning things like when I throw a hook, to have my elbow and my fist at the same level so that when I make impact, everything reverberates through to my elbow, as opposed to having it down here where now where it hits, it sort of collapses and gives way, which equals less power. So understanding the technique and trying to focus in on improving is going to be one of the big ways to get your power up, even if you're a smaller person. The next thing, which again, a lot of the smaller fighters have, which is very important, is speed. And speed is the difference between me hitting something very fast and me going slow and pushing through. And the way I like to explain this to my kids' class when I'm teaching is I go, what is going to hurt you more? A big, massive transport truck on the road coming at about 1 kilometer an hour, coming towards you. It hits you and it moves you and it pushes you and it keeps going. As long as it doesn't actually run you over and you just keep getting forced back, it's not going to hurt you. Or the other thing that can hit you is a pencil. Tiny little pencil, but it's in a hurricane and it's shooting along at 400 kilometers an hour. There have been instances of people finding, I know this is a story my dad told me, of people finding pencils completely embedded into trees, which means in a human, it would be game over. And the only difference there is not size, not strength, not this, not that. It's the speed behind the object moving. So if you can increase your speed, that will naturally increase your power. But our third element is the ability to follow through the target, because you could be the fastest puncher in the world. You could have the best technique in the world. But if the target's here and you only go to there, you're not going to create any damage, any power. So it's the ability to hit, to follow through, but still maintain the technique so you're not getting sloppy, maybe following too far through and letting your body weight fall, which is going to off balance you and suck away from that power. So we have number 1, technique. Number 2, speed. And number 3, focusing on the delivery of the technique, following through the target. Now, that's a good breakdown for you, but you might be going, okay, well, that's great, but how do I actually work all this? Well, the first thing you can do is obviously for the technique, repeat. Watch people who know what they're doing and hopefully have a good instructor who's showing you everything, but you can watch the best in the world, see them break down their technique, because there's so many things that people forget about. Very often when I'm doing things like Zoom privates with people, I have to tell them, okay, yes, your shoulders are rotating, but your hips are not. That means improper technique. We need to have everything right from our feet, our knee pushing forward, the hip follows, then the upper body follows, then the fist can go. Now we're engaging proper technique, which means we'll be able to deliver that punch with more force, simply because we sharpened up the technique. And watching the best in the world is always going to help you with that. So watch really good guys hit pads. I used to love watching K1 Max guys hitting pads and just going, okay, I have to hit exactly like them. That technique is impeccable. The next thing for speed is basically, yes, throw as fast as you can, and your twitch muscles will start to develop and they'll get quicker and quicker. But don't only focus on getting out as fast as you can. You also have to focus on the rechamber, because that's proper technique, and we always have to think defensively as well. We don't want to just go, we're trying to hit as hard as we can, only offense. So think there and back as quick as possible. You fire out, you remember your technique, and a lot of times I find that I like to do a little contrast between burning the muscles down, so you're firing as quick as you can, as fast as you can, and then you go, okay, they're really done, and then letting them recover, and then just pum, pum, taking little breaks, pum, pum, pum. I'm not going to tire out like that, but I can go max speed. But then after, I might go, okay, I really want to push my muscles to the brink right now. So instead of doing those single shots with those nice breaths in between, I just plant my feet and I just push as fast as I can. I'm still trying to redevelop my speed right now. I feel like it's a little bit off, but this is something you guys can just do at home. You don't even need to do this at the gym. It does not need to be something separate. Just take 30 seconds. 3 or 4 times a day, where you just plant your feet and you just punch out and back as fast as you can, keeping that proper technique in mind. And now we move into developing that ability to aim through something. And the best way, in my experience, to do this is in pad work. Because the pad holder can tell you if you're making any technical errors. He's watching you. And in addition, you have the target there. You can hit, follow through, the target's going to move, whereas a bag sometimes doesn't move. It's hard for you to gauge that follow through motion. But on a pad, you hit it, you can almost get that full extension, you shift the pad backwards, and then you can pull to the rechamber. So focusing on the pad work as a way to really work on your power is very important, I think. It's just my opinion, of course. I guess that's what the whole channel is, though. So that's what really matters today. Making sure that we have down that speed, that follow through, and of course, the technique. And if you're trying to increase something like the power of your round kick, again, it's the technique first. Remember, you're learning to pivot your foot. You're learning to turn the hips. But then you can work on your speed and the snap of it. But I'm not going to do this fast right now because it's my day off and I'm feeling really tight. But I could just grab here and just work snap in and out as fast as I can. And just go bang, 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 bang with that leg. And that'll, again, help you increase the speed of that kick. So I hope everybody found this episode helpful. I hope the fellow who requested this video goes, okay, this is exactly what I was looking for. You guys will see many videos of me training throughout my camp. And hopefully from watching me, you can sort of glean some information that'll help you do things in your own training, which will increase your speed, your technique, your follow through, and ultimately your power. And we're gonna wrap it up there, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. If you haven't already, join the channel, get subscribed. Train hard, guys, and I'll see you back here soon for another episode.